You were not meant to be a slave to the grind. You were not meant to trade your life force for money. You can escape gravity. You can unlock your life. You got this. Let's go.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Unlock Your Life. Thank you for being here. We have a phenomenal show in store for you today. We're going to be talking about how the wealthy actually get wealthy. Why the reason for this show? Well, I have a Facebook group. There's about 23,000 people in there, and the Facebook group is focused on multifamily. It's called My First Million in Multifamily. And from time to time, people will ask questions in there, and the advice will just flood in. Answers, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, what they should buy, etc., etc. And 9 times out of 10, the advice just really isn't that good. It's coming from a broken mindset or scarcity mindset, or it just isn't sound fundamentally. And I don't know what advice these people take. And I think that there's a lot of kind of bad concepts out there about how the wealthy get wealthy. And a lot of times we just don't know, right? If you weren't raised in that strata or you haven't been there for a while, how are you going to know, right? The middle class and the lower class, they kind of teach their children to go on a track. It's like either get through high school and get a job, or get through high school, go to college and get a job. And it's the net same effect for the most part, right? You go there, you learn a skill, you trade your time for money, and you become a service. You become a service to a corporation or a company or whatever. And so that's sort of the track that they go on, and that's not really what the wealthy are teaching their children. The wealthy are teaching their children to connect with the best people, to network and build a network of people that can connect you to opportunity, right? The upper classes are constantly focusing on opportunity, and they're constantly rebalancing their portfolios, rebalancing their priorities, and rebalancing their resources and capital and money into the best opportunities that they can find, right? So that's what they're focused on, and that's what the middle class is focused on. Middle class is focused on, let me get the best job that can pay me the most money per hour so that I can, have a couple of vacations a year and live in peace. Whereas the entrepreneurial type, the upper class are looking at what are the best businesses that I can own, what are the best assets that I can own, the best real estate, the best stock portfolios, funds, whatever. Where is the opportunity? That's what they're looking for. So I'm going to go through a couple points that I've found in my life and in the people that I hang out with in their lives, and gathering this data because it's something that I'm super interested in. The first thing that I've noticed is they get into the right vehicle. Right? They're getting into the right business. Most businesses fall under goods or services, right? So they're selling a physical product or even a digital product, but they're selling a product. And then there's the others that are like services. So what do I mean? Okay, goods. They're selling, metal roofing. They're selling fencing. They're selling education products. They're selling cars, right? Services, they're installing the roofing. They are mentoring and teaching one-on-one. They are cutting your grass, right? That's a service. They're not selling you the lawnmower. They're selling you that they're going to come and trade their time and cut your grass. So maybe you can see where I'm getting, but if you're going to build a business, it's better to get into goods than it is to get into services. Why? Simply because scale, right? It's not exponentially harder to increase. It's harder, but it's not exponentially harder. What do I mean by this? Well, let's say you have an education company, which I have. We sell a course on how to close multifamily deals, right? It's $19.97 on our website. If one person buys that course, that's difficult, right? Because I have to build the course, I have to market the course, I have to build a relationship with them. They've got to trust me. They got to buy the course. And it's very expensive to get all that going and up and running and done. However, when person number 2 buys the course, is it twice as hard? No. the delivery, right? Once I have the deliverable, once I have the product built, it is not hard at all, right? So if it's 1, 2, 20, 200, 2,000, 2 million, it really is not scaling in level of difficulty. I'm not going to say it wouldn't be harder to manage 2 million customers versus 200, but it's not 2 million times harder. Same thing with roofing, okay? I'm looking at a metal roof right now, and there's some company out there that made that metal roofing. They're a manufacturer versus the guy that is installing it, right? The guy that's installing it, if he has to do 2 roofs, it's twice as hard. He may need twice as many employees. If he's got to do 2,000 roofs, he's definitely got to have a bigger operation, more trucks, more insurance, on and on and on, versus the manufacturer. Well, yeah, they need more raw material, and maybe they need 1 more employee to double their capacity. Or I don't know, because I don't know the metal roofing business, but you get my point. Is it's a lot easier for a roofing plant to increase their output and sell a little bit more metal roofing than it is for a roofer to double his crews and double his labor, because he's trading time for dollars. So getting in the right business and the right vehicle is incredibly important. That's why I made a switch from doing residential bathrooms and remodeling into apartments. I was doing every deal I sold, right? I had to then fulfill. Like, we sell you a $100,000 kitchen. It's like, awesome, cool, this is great. But now we got to go build the kitchen. We got to order the cabinets. We got to plan everything out. We got to line up the subs. And then if I get another kitchen, I've got to duplicate my efforts, right? And it's a completely different kitchen, and it's a different client, and it's a different location. And so the economy of scale is not really there. Versus the track builder, they got 4 or 5 house plans, and they build house after house after house after house. There is no client involved. Maybe you have a couple choices, but they're distilling it down to a product. They're not really selling a service. A custom home, a custom kitchen, a custom bathroom remodel, that's a service, right? A track home is a product. So that's why D.R. Horton is traded on the NASDAQ and I'm not. So moving into apartments gave me a little bit more scale, right? I could close one deal and get 70 units or 100 units or 200 units. I could have one manager, one tax bill, one insurance bill, one rent roll, one set of paperwork to go through every week. And so it just gave me a lot more economies of scale because I'm providing a product, right? I'm providing an apartment for you to live in for 1 month for $895. That's my product. And I can scale that product versus selling you a service that if I want to scale it, I've got to give more time and I've got to give more resources, or I've got to hire more personnel and I've got to manage those personnel. And so it kind of is limiting. This is why the internet is so incredible. This is why social media is so incredible, right? You make a YouTube video and it can be evergreen. It can be watched by 100,000 people, even 1 million people. And it's just as hard to make that video, right? If 1 million people watch it or 100,000 people watch it or 10 people watch it, it's no harder. It's one video, and the scale is exponential. So the wealthy get into the right vehicle. I want you to look hard at the business that you're in, or maybe the business that you're building, and ask, is this the right vehicle? Is this something that's going to give me the scale that I want to have to get where I want to go? Do the math. Do the math. Envision your best case scenario and what that looks like per month, and then do the math on how many clients it's going to take, how long it's going to take, how many employees you're going to need, what kind of facilities you're going to have. Like, lay it out. Are you in the right vehicle? Secondly, the wealthy buy assets. Kind of lends back to the right vehicle, but with the money that they're making out of their primary business, they're now buying assets. Assets are something that puts money in their pocket every month and goes up in value. So when you're looking at something to buy, does it put money in my pocket or does it take money out of my pocket? Right? So a boat takes money out of your pocket. A car takes money out of your pocket. A piece of equipment that you can use to manufacture metal roofing, that's probably going to put money into my pocket. Apartment building, going to put money into my pocket. A rental home, put money into my pocket. A stock with a dividend, maybe it's going to put money in my pocket. Maybe not. Investments are always investments, right? There's risk of loss there. But they're buying assets. They're not buying more liabilities. They do buy liabilities. They're only buying those liabilities when they have assets to pay for it. Thirdly, they're buying cash flow, but only the type of cash flow that meets their lifestyle. So what I mean by that is all cash flow comes with time commitment, energy commitment, all of it. Not just some of it, all of it. I want you to think about some of the most passive cash flow there is, which would be maybe like stock, right? You buy a stock, you get a dividend check every quarter. You're not running the company, pretty passive. However, you still have to go meet with the advisor. You got to get your funds over there. You got to sign all these forms with him. You got to meet with him once a quarter or maybe once a year. You got to go over the portfolio. You're also thinking about this. Is the stock going up? Is it going down? Are they paying my dividend? Are they not? So even that definitely takes a little bit of energy. However, it's not so much, right? Versus I'm going to buy a landscaping company and I'm going to run it myself in my off time on the weekends, right? That's going to take a lot more to get that cash flow. It's still cash flow, but you're trading a lot of time. And so everything that you do, you've got to quantify how much of my time, focus, and energy is this going to take? And the stuff that takes the least amount is going to be the most valuable to you long term. Why? Because it's scalable, because it's duplicatable. So if I'm going to invest in an apartment complex deal as a passive investor, right, I'm just providing some cash versus as the general partner who's running the deal, right? There's just a big swath of responsibility on the general partner versus the limited partner. Limited partner still has to think about it, still has to focus on it a little bit, but not nearly to the extent that the guy who's actually running the apartment deal and managing the property manager and the renovations and all that is doing. And so you've got to take that into consideration. The wealthy really protect their time, right? The cash flow coming in, they're protecting how much time do they have to trade for that cash flow. Number 4, they don't give their time and focus to anything but the highest returning opportunities. Okay? So as the wealthy move up in the ranks and get more opportunity and get more resources, deals come to them, opportunities come to them, side hustles come to them, ideas, people are approaching them, on and on and on. And they're very, very disciplined as to choosing those best opportunities, which kind of ties into the cash flow piece that I'm talking about. They want to get into deals where they can partner with somebody and that guy's going to do 90% of the work or 95% of the work, and they can provide maybe the bankroll, or they can provide advisory role, or they can provide the balance sheet to help him get the loan, whatever it is. They're trying to always protect their time because they know that's the only thing that they can't get more of. They can get more money, they can get more resources, but they cannot get more time. Number 5, they're doing a constant rebalancing of their opportunities, a constant rebalancing of their life, of their portfolios. So what do I mean by this? Capital, yes, that's obvious, right? They're looking at what's performing, what's not. Let me move some funds out of here into there. But they're also rebalancing their focus. Your focus and your attention is the crown jewel. I am in a constant state of refocusing and refining my opportunities, looking at what's ahead and determining, am I in the right business, right? Am I focusing my efforts and energies on the right thing? Now, I will say, by and large, wealthy people are focusing on one thing, getting really, really, really good at this, and then they're doing this rebalancing on the side, right? On their side opportunities, on their side hustles, on their other businesses that they're involved in, and their other partnerships. Number 6, multiple streams, right? People think, oh man, if I just made $1 million, $5 million, $10 million a year, I'd be so wealthy. But when you really dig into the data, Most millionaires have 6 to 7 minimum streams of income. So if you have one, you're in trouble. And as I've moved up through the ranks, I've seen the importance of this, right? Because as you're doing these opportunities, I mean, some stuff works, some stuff doesn't work, some stuff works for a while and then doesn't work. Some stuff works better than you thought that it ever would work. And so if you have these multiple streams, it just gives you a safety net, right? It gives you the freedom to pursue more opportunities because income stream number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are doing pretty well. And now let me work on adding number 5. And I know that I've got this income coming in from these other 4 streams. It gives me the freedom to take more risk, gives me the freedom to pursue more things. In 2021, beginning of 2021, started to get pretty heavily involved into crypto. And the only reason I was able to do that was because I had income stream from selling my construction company, I had an income stream from selling my regional partnership aligned with the construction company. I had income from my own personal rental properties. I had income coming from selling a property management company. I had income coming in from my apartments. I had income coming in from selling off an apartment. And so that gave me the backbone, the financial stability to make some bigger bets that they may pay off. And if they pay off, they're going to pay off very, very well. But if they don't pay off, I'm okay, right? I haven't sunk the ship. I still have my core businesses and I still have those income streams. And so you see that multiple income streams in most wealthy people as they're pushing forward, 6 to 7 statistically. Point number 7, which is my last point, is the big wins, the big investments that you see, where you see a guy make a jump, from maybe a few million net worth to 50 million or 100 million or further. A lot of times that's not their original business, okay? They're taking resources, they're financially responsible, they're saving, they're investing, they're growing it. And then when the opportunity comes, because they're always searching for the right opportunities and new opportunities, they strike. And those type of things are giving that quantum leap up to that next level. But most of the time where I'm seeing it, it's like they're not doing it in their primary business. Let me give you an example. So friend of my wife's actually, and friend of mine as I got married to her, he had a business doing water and fire mitigation and restoration work, right? So decent business, service oriented, so not quite as scalable as goods, but he made good income, right? He made a few $1 million a year off of this business for many, many years in a row and built up his lifestyle, started making some investments, right? He bought a house down in Florida, flipped it, did really well with that, paid off his house in Ohio, built himself a very stable platform to jump off of. But then he made a few investments in some pretty high risk mining equipment type stuff and paid off massively, into the 7 and 8 figure realm. And so he was ready when the opportunity came. He had the resources to do that. But the majority of his wealth was not built through his first business that he started in, which was the water and fire mitigation. And that's why I want to encourage you to always be rebalancing, always be thinking about the business that you're in. Not that you throw that business in the trash, but you're open to new opportunities. You're open to new things on the horizon because that could be the thing that is going to get you to the level that you want to be at, right? Don't have that fixed mindset of, I'm a plumber, I'm a contractor, even I'm an apartment guy, I'm only a real estate guy, right? Being open to those. You want to have a business that's generating good cash, you want to be banking cash, you want to be responsible, but when those opportunities come, you want to take them. And some of them may work, some of them may not. You may take some losses, you may take some massive wins. If you have the backbone of the multiple passive income streams, you're able to withstand some of those things. And that's how the wealthy actually get wealthy, is they take risks. They take responsible, calculated risks that they can withstand. So if you're in the position where if you lost 10 grand, it's going to put you down, you need to hustle. You need to hustle in the business that you're in, and you need to be saving and pushing that forward, right? But once you get beyond that, you really need to start looking at what opportunities are out there. How can I weigh the risks? How can I make the best investments? How can I buy the right assets? How can I increase the cash flow? And what is next on the horizon? So that's all I got for you today. Next week, we're going to be talking about how people ruin their lives by caring too much. This is something that I struggled with for a long time. It's a really good episode. I'm really excited about it. So make sure you check that out. For now, have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.